nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by next-generation special forces being led by members of Foxhound. They are demanding that the government turn over the remains of Big Boss, and they say that if their demands are not met within 24 hours, they'll launch a nuclear weapon. You will have two mission objectives. First, you're to rescue DARPA Chief Donald Anderson and the President of Armstech, Kenneth Baker. Both are being held as hostages. Secondly, you're to investigate whether or not the terrorists have the ability to make a nuclear strike and stop them if they do.
What's the insertion method?
We'll approach the disposal facility by sub.
And then?
We'll launch a one-man SDV. After the SDV gets as close as it can, dispose of it. From there on, you'll have to swim. High-tech Special Forces Unit Foxhound, your former unit, and one that I was the commander of.
So they're still around.
There are 6 members of Foxhound involved in this terrorist activity. Psycho Mantis, with his powerful psychic abilities. Sniper Wolf, the beautiful and deadly sharpshooter. Decoy Octopus, master of disguise. Vulcan Raven, giant and shaman. And Revolver Ocelot, specialist in interrogation and a formidable gunfighter. And finally, in charge of them, Foxhound squad leader, Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake.
The nuclear weapons disposal facility covers the whole island. I'll instruct you by Codec after you reach your target.
Anyone going with me?
As always, this is a one-man sneaking mission.
Weapons and equipment OSP.
Yes. This is a top-secret black op. Don't expect any official support.
Hello, and welcome to this little number here. Yes, I hope no one thought this would be just a typical walkthrough. It's going to be a Let's Play. So let's play. Let's see, before... I actually did not check whether or not... Oh yeah, subtitles off, very specifically. Let's see, screen adjustment. I can't stretch it out to cover the whole damn thing, which is what I really like to do in these sort of things. That's about it. Special? No. Oh, something interesting. In this game, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, you actually can read... Like, this is the only way they thought to inform you of the other games, through text, which I've always had trouble reading text, like, long print in games. And this is gonna be the stupidest idea ever, but even though I haven't played this game in a long time, I'm going extreme, baby. I will have complete radar, because this game is pretty... All the mechanics of the game are built around the radar, so I need it that way. However, I will have game over if discovered. So the shit is gonna go down. perhaps I should have kept the subtitles on, considering the fact that a lot of you are going to get pissed off of me talking over the cutscenes. But I will say that if you guys want to see these cutscenes pretty much perfectly clean in as good quality as I'm producing here, check out the channel Adam Spencer 87. He has the whole damn thing. He has everything you need except English subtitles. Instead, he has them in, I believe, Spanish. And not even ultra common Spanish. He has them in, I think, Spanish. I know there is a spoken difference, but I'm not sure whether they would have created a specific region difference. Anyway, I'm going to try something a little different with this Let's Play. After seeing what Proton John did with his Superman 60...
Stay alert. He'll be through here. I know it. I'm going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies.
After seeing what Proton John did with his Superman 64 Let's Play, I'd like to do something similar when it comes to a lot of the characters here. Although I'm not as good at joking around as he is. I love how he goes to the effort of putting on binoculars just for the sake of, like, looking at him from a distance. So yeah, this is Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, the remake of the 1998 quote-unquote classic, Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1. Which in and of itself got, I believe, two different updates. One was integral, and one which I don't believe was ever released in the United States, and the other was VR missions, which was way too separate.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's the situation, Snake?
Looks like the elevator in the back is the only way up.
Just as I expected. You'll have to take the elevator to the surface, but make sure nobody sees you. If you need to, contact me by codec. The frequency is 140.85. When you want to use the codec, push the pause button and then the A button. When we need to contact you, the codec will beep. When you hear that noise, press the pause button and then the A button to receive the call. The codec's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Now, there's something different I want to try for this Let's Play, and as I just said. So, let's get to know our little hero here, Solid Snake. Easily the most recognizable character in the Metal Gear Solid universe is Solid Snake. Snake first started his military career by joining the Green Berets very young, and very shortly afterwards he joined Big Boss's Special Forces unit, Foxhound, which is where he received the code name Solid Snake. While training there, he mastered high-altitude skydiving, which I've only seen him use in the NES version of the original Metal Gear, scuba diving, which he used just minutes ago, and free climbing, which I've only seen him use in the beginning of Metal Gear 2. When it comes to his stealth training, he was trained by Master Miller in such actions as close quarters combat, withstanding torture, using found items to help in a sneaking mission, code breaking, and using all your senses to know where the enemy is. Unfortunately, this last part was never used until Guns of the Patriots. The rest of his life is covered in great detail later in the game. His character in this game feels a lot like the grizzled old veteran stereotype that you see played a lot by really old guys. It's kind of funny to think that Snake is only 33 in this game. I'm not a big fan of these characters unless they can show something captivating, which I don't think Solid Snake had until Sons of Liberty, where he was surrounded by other characters who complemented him very well. In this game, he's constantly being surrounded by old veterans and young women, with very few exceptions. And this makes his relationships feel kind of underwhelming at times. Speaking of young girls, this game assumes that Snake is a womanizer of sorts, even though in previous games nothing is ever explicitly shown in that way. I'm probably going to butcher this name, but in Japanese, Snake is voiced by Akio Otsuka, and in English he's voiced by David Hayter. I haven't seen a whole lot of Akio's dialogue, but from what I've seen, his performance is nothing unique, and he can kind of sound exaggerated at times. he simply does not hold a candle to the incredible performance done by David Hayter, whose performance is, first off, incredibly memorable, but more than anything, it just keeps adding more and more layers to Snake's character, even more so than any single line of dialogue he's ever been given. Some of the other work that Hayter's done includes Arsene Lupin III in the dub of The Castle of Cagliostro, Kurama in the Yu Yu Hakusho movie, and Captain America in a brief role in the Spider-Man animated series. However, I should say that he is primarily a screenwriter, having worked on the first 2 X-Men movies and the Watchmen movie. Solid Snake has appeared in 9 games released in the United States, only 6 of which are in canon. Alright, after what I hope was me doing something relatively complicated and making ourselves better, we don't have much in terms of inventory items besides our binoculars and cigarettes. So I've got to get my bearings. So yeah, I'm not entirely well versed in how this game works. If I remember correctly, yes. If you keep mashing the ever-loving crap out of the action button, you'll actually somehow stay underwater for longer. I really don't like the way water looks here. It looks very gelish. But if I'm not mistaken, they're actually using the same water physics as Metal Gear Solid 2, which even though I'll admit that water also didn't look that great, it looked a hell of a lot better than a lot of what other people had at the time. Now, I'm going to say this now, this Let's Play is going to have a lot of failure because I don't remember the patterns that I had to use in order to beat the game the first time. And keep in mind, I also had to pretty much kill everybody in order to even beat the game the first time. And I'm trying to avoid that. But the thing is, I'm not sure if I can pull that off very well.
Is there somebody there?
Holy fuck, I actually made that. Yeah, there was no strategy there. I just got fucking lucky as hell. Now something for the ladies. Stripping time. Title screen. And I gotta admit, this is some funky music right here. People hate on this game for not having the original soundtrack. Oh, the soundtrack of the original game. But here's the thing, I like that they tried something different. I don't like this as much as the original soundtrack, but I still think the soundtrack is good in its own right. They went for something different, and I respect that. Alright, now I could do a bio on like all of the supporting characters on the radio, but I'm gonna wait until all the characters of the that we'll get on the radio have basically collected. And also, I don't want like more than one bio video on a video at a time.
It's Snake. I'm in front of the disposal facility.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
He's only 33.
How's that sneaking suit working out?
I'm nice and dry, but it's a little hard to move.
Bear with it. It's designed to prevent hypothermia. This is Alaska, you know.
Take it easy. I'm grateful. If it weren't for your suit and your shot, I would have turned into a popsicle out there.
An anti-freezing peptide, Snake. All of the genome soldiers in this exercise are using it.
I see. I'm relieved to hear that. Already tested, huh? By the way, how's the diversionary operation going?
2 F-16s just took off from Galena and are headed your way. The terrorist radar should have already picked them up.
A HIND D. Colonel, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
I have no idea, but it looks like our little diversion got their attention.
It's funny, if you recall, they point out how ridiculously impossible it is for a helicopter to shoot down jets. So, I'm not sure how much of a good sign it is that he just got up, or that the helicopter just rose up. I'd be like, man, why are they taking a helicopter anywhere?
Now's your best chance to slip in unnoticed. There are only 18 hours left until their deadline. You've got to hurry.
Wow, he must be crazy to fly HIND in this kind of weather.
Formal
Who's
introduction
that?
of Mei Ling.
Oh, sorry. I haven't introduced you to yet. This is Mei Ling. She was assigned to us as our visual and data processing specialist. She designed your codec, as well as your Soliton radar system. Contact her if you have any questions about either of them.
Nice to meet you, Snake. It's an honor to speak to a living legend like yourself. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so... cute.
You're just flattering me.
No, I'm serious. Well, I know I won't be bored for the next 18 hours.
What's this? I'm being hit on by the famous Solid Snake? But I'm surprised. I didn't think you'd be so frank.
Looks like we both have a lot to learn about each other.
It does, doesn't it? Well, let's get to know each other better. But first, let me explain about your Soliton radar system.
Tutorial time!
The bright dot in the middle is you, Snake. The red dots are your enemies, and the blue cone shape represents their field of vision.
Be
They are
careful,
blind.
Snake. The genome soldiers have highly developed senses of hearing and vision due to their gene therapy. Make sure you don't let them see you.
First, I want you to infiltrate the disposal site and look for the DARPA chief.
The DARPA chief was injected with the same GPS transmitting nanomachines as you.
He should appear on your radar as a green dot.
Get whatever information you can from him about the terrorists. If he's alive, that is.
Wait, technically a global positioning
Snake,
system
your
should work
radar
with a
isn't
satellite.
affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it.
Yes, it gets jammed easily, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful.
We'll be monitoring your movements by radar, so contact us by codec anytime you want.
Got it. I'll call if I'm feeling lonely.
Seriously, Snake. We're here to back you up, so call if you need some information or advice.
I'm also in charge of your mission data. Contact me if you want me to save your current status. My frequency is 140.96. It's a dedicated frequency for saving data. Don't forget it.
Remember,
What was
except
that data
for your
again?
binoculars, you need to arm yourself with whatever weapons you can find.
I remember. First I'm strip searched by Dr. Naomi here, and then all my weapons are taken away. Imagine yourself put in that position.
Well, if you make it back in one piece, maybe I'll let you do a strip search on me.
I'll hold you to that, Doctor.
Unfortunately,
By the
he never
way,
did.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I did manage to smuggle out my smokes.
How did you do that?
In my stomach. Thanks to the shot you gave me that suppressed my stomach acids.
Cigarettes? How are those going to help you?
You never know.
God, do you have any idea how uncomfortable it would be to just puke up a cardboard box of cigarettes?
If you want to get in, there's the front door. It's the fastest way, but there's too much risk of being spotted by the enemy.
Yeah, I
they're all
can't just
idiots
knock on
anyway.
the door and ask them to let me in.
What about the air duct near the door?
One sentry on the left, and one on the right. They're armed with 5.56ers and pineapples.
There should also be a duct on the second floor.
I can't see it from here.
I'll let you decide the best COA. I'm counting on you, Snake.
Alright, so how much have we played in total? I think 2 minutes out of what seems to be a recorded 18 minutes. Snake moves kind of fast in this game compared to himself in the original Metal Gear Solid. And oh shit, I just got spotted. Now I can't remember exactly what my strategy used to be, or what it did not used to be, or whatever, anything like that.
A surveillance camera.
How do I grab? I'm trying to just... Ah, damn it. I wanted to make him pass out. I wanted to put him in the sleeper and just knock his ass out. Alright.
That base must have some kind of ventilation system to recirculate the air. There should be air ducts around there somewhere. They must need a lot of power to run the base. There's probably a diesel generator somewhere. And since generating electricity requires oxygen, there must be exhaust openings for that
Not
too.
necessarily.
You're not going to believe this, but they shot down the F-16s we were using as a diversion with a HIND D. Then we got a message from Liquid. He said if we try something like that again, he'll launch the nuke. Snake, hurry up and get in there. That HIND will be coming back soon.
And, well, when I talk about the bios, I'm going to talk about people's, specifics when it comes to their voice acting and the like. So, I'm not going to discuss that here. But I'm going to say this now. I am surprised how well I am doing so far in this game. Because, here's the thing. When I played the... Oh, shit. Well, here's Master
Snake,
Miller.
This is McDonald Miller. It's been a long time.
Master, what are you doing here?
I quit being a boot camp instructor, so I moved out here for some peace and quiet. I'm in retirement, just like you. Once in a while, I still help train the Alaskan Scouts.
Passing on the skills to a new generation, huh?
Campbell told me about the situation here. I thought I might be of some use.
There's no one I'd rather have in a foxhole than you.
Well, I know lots about survival in a harsh environment. I've lived in Alaska longer than you. So call me if you have any questions about the flora or fauna out here. My frequency is 141.80.
It's nice to know that he has our backs in terms of learning about nature and not necessarily about, you know, the guys here, whatever. God, it's kind of hard to come up with discussions points about this game because, I don't know, I've already discussed it so damn much in, like, just writing out those ridiculously long descriptions in all my videos, which take up, like, 1 million pages.
I moved the DARPA chief to the cell in the first floor basement.
What about the vent shaft cleaning?
Oh, they just opened the vent covers. They're about to start spraying for rats.
First floor basement ventilation shaft.
Shut those covers as soon as they're done spraying. Also, keep your eye on that woman in the cell. Don't get careless now.
Woman in the cell?
So yes, this actually is a version of what can happen. If you've gotten caught, I believe once or twice, they'll actually point out something that says, they say, did something happen? There's an intruder, a dude will pull out his gun, like as though he saw something himself. And then he'll ask, he'll be like, oh, he's off 3 people. He's already killed 3 people? Yeah, and they say he's using stealth too. And because Snake is not a very stealthy man by any means of the imagination, Snake immediately goes, okay, that's not me. Stealth? There's an intruder besides me?
Press the action button to drop down.
Which on the GameCube pad is actually the Y button. Y.
Use the elevator to change floors. There should be a cargo elevator that you can take down somewhere around there. Try to find it.
Got it. I'll admit a lot of this stuff is a little obtuse, but that was retarded. So yeah, this is something that's a bit different from the original Metal Gear Solid. Now, the original Metal Gear Solid was a bit more stiff in terms of a lot of what you could or couldn't do. But here, they pretty much ported all the controls and most of the mechanics from Metal Gear Solid 2 and just straight up copy and pasted them into this game. Now, a bit of a problem with that is that with that, they did not update. Oh, wait, no, shit. Oh, I took the SOCOM. Crap. I thought it was the thermal goggles. The thing is, there's a cutscene coming up, and I always prefer the no SOCOM version to the version with the SOCOM, because the version with the SOCOM like kind of ends in shit, how do I jump down and over? The version with the SOCOM kind of ends in a standoff, and I don't think that's as cool as when Snake pretty much just says, "Oh, can you shoot me, motherfucker?" So yeah, pretty much, it's pretty much this. Well, what I just did when I dropped down, that's an example of something that was not particularly good design choice. Because here's the thing. One legitimate complaint you can make about this game is that it chooses to hold all of Metal Gear Solid 1's design choices without updating the while still updating the controls.
Look at the radar. It's picking up the DARPA chief. He's the green dot. Hurry and rescue him.
What I find amusing about the fact that they said that the DARPA chief has GPS in his blood is the fact that a global positioning system would require a satellite to triangulate your position. But the problem with that is that we're in a military base where your signal would be very, very weak. And there he is, the DARPA chief. Alright, so there is a lock system on this door with a number 1 on it. And if you aren't aware, Snake pretty much controls exactly like he does in Metal Gear Solid 2, except I'm using a Gamecube controller for obvious reasons. He even has his little combination he has in Metal Gear Solid 2, as opposed to that ridiculous roundhouse kick he had. He can crawl, he even has his die from that game. What the hell was that? So yeah, I'm going to be checking through this vault vent just to make sure there's some... Let's see if there's something in here or not. Let's see, this is man, this is something I've been very... Oh, come on, nothing? This is something I've had in mind for a while, to do kind of a Let's Play style thing on Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. To kind of rectify a couple of things I've always heard about in the first one, besides the usual fucking comments of, oh, I wish this was on PS2, or oh, the music is shit, or whatever.
Snake, if you want to go up or down a ladder, just press the action button by the ladder. Approach the ladder and press the action button to climb it.
God, it's just like Eagle Raptor said. It's like increasing amounts of... Yeah, I get it. This is actually one of the games that really seems to ram it down your throat more than anything. It's like, jeez, I know how to climb a fucking ladder. It's like in the Half-Life training module. So here is actually a reoccurring character of pretty much the rest of the series, except for Metal Gear Solid 3, where he actually has an ancestor shown.
Kind of damn cold. I hate Alaska.
I believe this character's full name is Johnny Sasaki.
Boy, oh boy. That woman is built all right.
And actually, I believe Johnny, I don't think has ever had a consistent voice actor because he sounds different in all the games to me. Someone will probably correct me on that. And that's not the story. I'm not gonna do a bio on Johnny, all right? Because it's kind of ridiculous to do that. All right, no item here, but there is another thing and the stuff, and there's a computer. Now we can play some Doom. Actually, this is 2005, so Snake's gonna access his World of Warcraft account. It just started, and it was when did Activision buy out Blizzard? I believe it was 2008, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, coming here through this vent, we will eventually come across the first vent opening, I should say. Interestingly enough, this was actually kind of optional in the original Metal Gear Solid game. You had to actually look down yourself in order for this cutscene to activate.
A woman. Not him.
But it just triggers automatically now. I have no idea how Meryl did not see that. I know that you're supposed to kind of have a certain amount of focus when you're exercising so that you know you can kind of concentrate on having proper form, but at the same time that would catch your eye if it was at your peripherals or whatever. Well, not your peripherals, just barely not in the center of your vision. Oh, he just had to have that form.
Who's that?
I'm here to save you. You're the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, right?
You here to save me, huh? What's your outfit?
I'm the pawn they sent in here to save your worthless butt.
Really?
Man, Snake looks really tired now that I look at him.
It's true. You don't look like one of them. In that case, hurry up and get me out of here.
Slow down. Don't worry. First, I want some information about the terrorists.
The terrorists?
Holy fuck, I've been at this for a while.
Do they really have the ability to launch a nuke?
What are you talking about?
The terrorists are threatening the White House. They say if they don't accede to their demands, they'll launch a nuclear weapon.
Sweet Jesus.
What about him? Why does everyone sit down when they get anxious?
Is it possible?
It's possible. They could launch a nuke.
I need to be comfortable while I am apprehensive.
How do they plan to launch? I thought this place was just for the keeping of dismantled warheads. They shouldn't have access to a missile.
That was a pretty good hamstring.
That's the official story. Got it. We were conducting exercises with a new type of experimental weapon. A truly historical weapon.
What?
A weapon with the ability to launch a nuclear attack from any place on the face of the Earth. A nuclear-equipped walking battle tank.
It's one of those things that sounds cool, but if you think about its practicality, it's kind of absurd.
Gear. It can't be.
You knew? Metal Gear is one of the most secret black projects. How did you know that?
We've had a couple of run-ins in the past. So that's the reason you were here at this disposal site?
Why else would I come to a godforsaken place like this?
To get some good old nuclear waste.
I had heard that the Metal Gear project was scrapped.
On the contrary, it's grown into a huge joint project between ArmsTech and ourselves. We were going to use this exercise as raw data, and then proceed to mass production.
Why would you mass produce something like this? I thought you would just use a couple of them.
If it hadn't been for the revolution.
Revolution.
I hate that level in Battletoads too.
Rex has fallen into the hands of terrorists.
Rex?
Metal Gear Rex, the code name for the new Metal Gear prototype.
I wanted to show off my arms while I say that.
Probably already finished arming the warhead they plan to use with Rex. These guys are pros. They're all experienced in handling and equipping nuclear weapons.
Hey, shut up in there, will ya?
This actually will now bring up one of the things that a lot of people have issue with this game about, and that's the fact that they really made Snake look ultra superhuman in this. I actually kind of like it because it does show the side that Snake is kind of a more impressive soldier than the average man. Because if you think about it, Snake is kind of shitty at stealth.
But I thought that all nuclear warheads were equipped with safety measures. Some kind of detonation code that you have to input.
Oh, you mean PAL. Yes, of course. There is a PAL. It's set up so that you need to input 2 different passwords in order to launch the device.
There are 2 passwords?
Yes. Baker knows one, and I know one.
Baker, the president of Arms Tech?
That's right. Each of us needs to input our password, or there can be no launch. But...
Yeah, see what I mean about feeling anxious and
they
sitting
found
down?
out my password.
You talked?
Psycho Mantis can read people's minds. You can't resist.
Psycho Mantis?
One of the members of Foxhound. He has psychic powers.
Man, with something that's so oddly out of place in a somewhat realistic game like this...
This is bad.
Actually, no, a very realistic game like
It's
this.
just a matter of time before they get Baker's too.
So far.
If they find out Baker's password...
Yes. They'll be able to launch a nuke anytime.
You know, they kind of just skim past it like
But
it's nothing.
there is a way to stop the launch.
What?
The card keys.
Card keys?
They're Nintendo's
They were
e-readers.
designed by Arms Tech, the system developers, as an emergency override. Even without the passwords, you can just insert the card keys and engage the safety lock.
And if I do that...
Doesn't sound very safe.
Yes, you can stop the launch.
That card key.
I actually really like a lot of the camera direction they took in this.
So where are the card keys?
Baker should have them. Listen,
Or at least so far.
you need 3 card keys. There are 3 different slots to put them in. You need to insert a card into each one of them.
Okay, 3 card keys. Do you know where they might be keeping Baker?
Somewhere in the 2nd floor basement.
2nd floor basement?
I heard the guards say they moved him into an area that has a lot of electronic jamming.
Any other clues?
Yes. They cemented over the entrances, but didn't have enough time to paint them.
How the fuck did they get the
Why
cement in
don't
here?
you look for the areas where the walls are a different color? Here, take this. It's my ID card. It'll open any level 1 security door.
You had such bad access?
It's called a PAN card.
And you're a fucking
It works
president?
together with your body's own
Oh,
electrical
the
field.
chief.
Personal area network, huh?
It transmits data using the salts in your body as a transmission medium. As you approach the door's security devices, they'll read the data stored in the card.
And the doors will open automatically. Gotcha.
Well, it automatically here.
Okay.
The original game you had to
I'm gonna
switch to
get
it.
you out of here.
Wait a minute.
What is it?
You haven't heard any other way to disarm the PAL, have you? From your bosses or anyone?
No.
Are you sure you haven't heard anything?
I just said no.
So, does the White House plan to give in to the terrorist demands?
That's their problem. It has nothing to do with my orders.
But what about the Pentagon?
Pentagon?
Some people have complained about how a lot of the scripting in this game changes up the story, but the thing is, like, there's a difference between changing the script and changing the story. It's still overall, like, event, and character development, however weak it may be, it's pretty much the same.
What happened?
It's just like the wording is a little different. It's not necessarily the same thing. Just like in horror movies, the black guy is always the first one to die. It's funny how true that is even before this context. DARPA chief, dead. Heart attack. Died after giving Solid Snake information. Now, I gotta wonder what the hell was Snake's plan? How the hell was he planning on getting them out of there?
Dead.
Hell, actually in the briefing files, it's pointed out he didn't even ask that!
Naomi, the chief, what happened?
I don't know. It looked like a heart attack, but...
A heart attack? No!
Colonel, are you hiding something from me?
Absolutely not, Snake. You've got to understand. This counter-terrorist op is security level red.
Just above
You'll
orange.
need the highest security clearance to learn the real story.
You want me to believe that you're in charge of this op, but you don't have complete access to the file?
I told you. The Secretary of Defense is in operational control. I'm just here as your support. Snake, we don't have time to debate. Get out of there and find President Baker.
I guess even though I didn't get do a lot of commentary for this, I think that'll end it for now. So next time on Let's Play Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, we're gonna continue this little story.
The DARPA chief, poor man. He has a heart attack right after you save him.
Yeah, it's funny,
I have
right?
a bad feeling about this, Snake. Maybe you should let me save your mission.
No! Yeah, I have to, actually. God, I should stop doing Chugga voices. And man, I saved a lot. Oh yeah, it's been at least 2 years every time. So yeah, new save. Catch y'all later.